back.
I'm a sucker for stupid action films. I like lots of gore and violence and people taking punches no mortal could ever withstand and brushing it off like it was nothing. It was a highlight of my youth to watch these movies with my dad, and the habit has stuck into adulthood. Boy Kills World is a quintessential action film enlivened by an acerbic sense of humor, comic book style mayhem, and debut director Moritz Mohr's determination to infuse every shot with as much anarchic energy as humanly possible. It's a simple film with obvious inspirations from the likes of Battle Royale, Marathon Man, Kill Bill, The Purge, or The Hunger Games, but none of that should be seen as a bad thing because Moritz takes those elements and blends them together with his own sensibility. The story follows a young killer named Boy. His mother and sister were murdered by the evil Hilda van der Kooi in his youth, and Boy barely survived himself thanks to the intervention of the shaman. Boy is then trained by the shaman in martial arts and gunplay until he is an elite killing machine. Boy sustained grievous injuries in his youth which has left him deaf and mute, and so the voice in his head, that of an old arcade fighting game announcer, serves as his inner monologue. As an adult, Boy witnesses the brutal slaying of dozens of villagers as members of the Van der Kooi gang seek conscripts for the culling, an annual bloodbath televised for all to watch, and a neat excuse to purge enemies of their regime. Boy determines to kill Hilda and all Van der Koois that same day and races off to the big smoke with a single vengeful goal in mind. At this point, the story follows a very simple and predictable plot. Boy climbs the ranks of the Van der Kooi hierarchy, battling innumerable goons on his way to the big boss fight. There is an effective third act twist to keep you on your toes, just in case such a plot was somehow perceived as a bad thing, but nevertheless it is exactly as you'd expect. You can guess everything that's going to happen in Boy Kills World, but being surprised by the story is not high on the list of requirements for a good action film. Instead, I believe that novel kills and clever visual storytelling are what should be the focus, and by this metric, Boy Kills World was a blast. In an age where CBMs are regarded as the drivel pushed out by the MCU, Boy Kills World stood out to me as a genuine comic book movie. The comics I enjoy have all manner of chaotic and edgy humor, over-the-top violence, and storytelling that veers well and truly away from the dull save the cat screenplay template. Boy Kills World ticks the first two boxes beautifully, and this was the first real highlight for me. I like when a creative team brings ingenuity to bear on the types of weapons used to kill someone, or the amount of gore displayed in the act of that cinematic murder. Boy Kills World is full of these details, such as a fight where a grater is exclusively used to subdue knife-wielding assailants. The other component that's awesome entertainment is that in Boy's fractured mind, he's simply playing that arcade fighting game from his youth and perceives himself as player one duking his way up to a boss fight. This strips the film of any realism and allows Moritz and the creative team to go wild, including one fight that was a revitalized version of this classic.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
Alongside this, and as controversial as it is to mention, Boy Kills World came across to me as quite the anti-die film. There's never a sense that anyone wants to push a message either in the casting or the dialogue. This is quite simply a film about vengeance and is meant to be enjoyed by all who like their action films pulpy and a touch nonsensical. Perhaps that's why the reviews haven't been so glowing for this one from the corporate media. But I'm just a friendly online conspiracy theorist, so what do I know? The biggest weakness with Boy Kills World, regardless of my personal feelings, is that objectively it's reliant on the audience letting things slide. You've seen a version of this film before, and so are you willing to ignore that? The beats are so well known that you can play bingo with them. Are there resistance fighters who support Boy? Yes. Is there an eccentric sidekick who sadly passes away? Yes. Is there a twist you can see coming a mile away pertaining to the main character's quest? Yes. Will Boy survive his one-man war against the Van der Koois?
I don't know.
If you can let these things go, as I was able to, then I think you'll find yourself having a raucous good time. If you can't, then this film isn't going to be for you. In my opinion, Boy Kills World is insanely entertaining and under normal circumstances would be the kind of film you watch with friends and build a drinking game around. You have good fight choreography which balances high stakes, acerbic comedy, and a unique visual style. And frankly, the people giving this film a bad score are nuts.
I would say that's that, mattress man.